by one. So for me it has been decisions which I've been taking. At one time my husband told me, because I started when I was a girl, when I married when I was still at Makere. So he was the one, like taking me to school and so on. So when I finished and I got a job, he said, we must, keep bring your money to my account. So I was putting on his account. Then tomorrow I say, I want I want what? There is no money, there is no money. I said, but what about my money? It's on your account. He said, but yours is little. I said, if it is little, why do you put it on your account? Then I told him, tomorrow I'm opening my own account. And he said, please, not open. I said, no way. I opened my own account. So for me, I've been taking decisions. I take decisions for the good. All these decisions were to make me who I am, so that I can influence and impact on others. But in finishing, I want to say that actually all this, what they've said, is very good. And I want to say, when you are taking a decision, I don't remember the Rotary, what do they call these people? The Rotary people. They say, is it good? Is it for what? I have forgotten it, but they have four-way test when you are going to take action.
Urgent, important,
is it for others or whatever? When you are taking a decision, even if it is for you, don't take a decision which is selfish. You consider also others. You consider yourself and your future in relation to other people, whether within your family, the impact of that decision. Because even if it is in your family, if you determine, like you belong to Matende family, and you determine to go and do something which you think is good, and you are spoiling the trademark of the Matende family, of the Matende name. You see, don't look at yourself only. Don't make a selfish decision which is based on your own interests alone, but look at broader, because you don't live alone. In whatever decision you are taking, consider others, because you cannot live in an island. Somebody sang and said, no man is an island. You are not in an island, and when you are taking decisions, therefore it means you don't hurriedly take it. You must first consider. If you are a godly person, you seek the Lord, because God is the one who gives wisdom. The decision must be based on wisdom as to how it is impacting on you, on the rest of your family, on the rest of others. So don't be in a hurry. I will do this. Now I've chosen this man. This is the man I will marry, and that's it. But yes, consider, why do you think your parents are saying no? In fact, many times when I get challenges, I say, these parents did not want. Because your parents they bless you. They bless you, but some of them may be ignorant of these other things. Like my father was ignorant of gender equality. He thinks a boy must be promoted and leaves this girl, and yet that boy ended at S4. In fact, I'm the one who have taken care of his children because he passed on earlier. So now if I was not there, what would have happened? So poor people, poor parents, they need to be brought on board. You can discuss and argue with them and do what, and seek uncle. What is uncle? Come and help me. I'm dealing with this. So you don't just jump at it and make it alone. Make it within the context. Make circumstances take them into account. And remember, you are brought by God. Seek God. God can guide you and give you wisdom onto the decision you are going to take. All the decisions I took ended up benefiting everybody that I deal with and recommend that. Thank you very much.
I've learned that decisions are for generations. You take one decision that is going to influence generations. You can imagine if she had got out of school, then the brother's children would not have gone to school too.
And the rest of
And the rest.
My brothers and sisters.
Oh yes, look at the syndicate it created, that the one she has taken to school are also going to take other people to school. So decision making is extremely important. I've also learned to think about the things we decide on. Don't just say yes. Why are you saying yes? And why are you saying no? And in that we look at the outcomes of the decision. Think about it. What happens if I take this decision? And what will not happen if I don't take this decision? That means that our mind must be at work. The other thing that I've got is that you must have a made-up mind over what you want. I'm sure there are so many ladies that were in her position that might have left school. As soon as the door to leave school came, it was like an opportunity to move out because they did not know what they wanted. I'm calling you once a honorable, ever honorable. Okay, I'm going to pose this question to our Honorable Minister of Justice. As a woman, as a lady in the Guild Cabinet, what challenges have you met in your leadership journey and how have you overcome them? Thank you very much.
Well, regards to that question.
Please feel free to, we have a microphone.
Thank you so much. Well, in regards to that question, I haven't faced a lot of challenges. Like a lot, like when you say maybe this and that, you know. But there are instances that come up and your voice is not heard. And your voice is dominated over the male one. Because we have, how many? We have three female representatives in the house, in the cabinet, 3 people, against 13 males. So there is that chance at times where you feel like you want to speak up, but the males are there. And they'll be, hey, her point is not that correct, you know? They will say, we have this and this and this. Females are not what? Involved in that. But we always rise to the occasion. I would like to thank my fellow female ministers. We have shown that even if we are less in that cabinet, we are more than everyone else. So, and the ways we have gone about that several times is trying to be intentional. Dr. Miriam Atembe earlier spoke about a person being intentional. You show that I'm there to stay. Whether you want me to speak or not, I'm still going to speak my facts. If I'm not feeling comfortable, if I have this issue or this, because we're here to serve. And the perfect thing a leader could do in this time is be intentional with regard to the people that put them in service. Because if I do things, like she said, ambitiously, not what? Cautiously. So I'm working with my ambitions or my feelings. I'm not focusing on the people that what? That put me there. So decisions, they are always meant to be intentional. You have to be intentional. And the best challenge, the best thing that I've used to come out of all that is always being there, being able to use my big mouth, being able to be intentional, and speaking out my mind. So that's how I've tried, and I'm still trying to come up with the challenges and solve them.
I told you of the Uganda Constitutional Commission. We were 21 members, only 2 women, only 2. But I can assure you, by the end of that constitution making exercise within 4 years, all the 19 men had joined the fight. All of them had known what we are fighting for. And as a result, when we went around the whole country, all the women out there, men, they gave views for women's rights in the constitution. And that's why you see that we have even a whole article on women's rights protection and other provisions about maternity, about the family. But we were too like this. So you have to be very strategic. You have to win those men who are there, when you meet them individually here and there, and you explain to them, why are these issues of women? Why do you talk like that? Because they have grown up not knowing them. Yesterday I was on the Radio 1, and people have come out there with this they detract us from pursuing the cause for the girl child. And they say, there has been so much emphasis on the girl child, and the boy child is neglected, and therefore they are getting lost. And I was asking them, tell me, if there is any single law, any single policy, any single culture, any single bias, any single religious attitude that discriminates against a boy child, is it there? It is not there. There is nothing that undermines or underrates or marginalizes or minimizes the boy child. It's not there. So now, should we be saying, girl child, boy child should not be discriminated? They are not discriminated against. We are saying those who are demeaned, who are discriminated against, who are undermined, are the ones we are focusing on with the view of removing those barriers that prevent them from being who they are. For instance, when we are saying of 15,000 girls that were defiled, made pregnant, raped, how many boys were? How many boys were? They are not there. So now why do you say that we are demeaning the boys? No. For them, they have continued to stand in their position who they are. And it is the girls what. So when you explain such things, they will see, hey, so this is it. But for them, they say, why are you focusing on girls? Why are you focusing on girls? You are neglecting boys. When were boys ever neglected? On what? In the family? At the school? Where? So what you do, you get the sufficient knowledge on the facts you are talking about. You make sure that you have the information, you have the facts, which when they raise a challenge, you come with this information. The moment you bring it, then you are educating them, then down the road, they are understanding you. As long as you don't give up, stand up, but get sufficient knowledge on the facts that you want to put forward. Knowledge is one of the most important skills that you must have, the tools which you must have that will silence the one who would come in. Last night when I explained that thing, people said, they were coming and said, hey, even those on the program said, hey, we didn't see it that way. So make sure you educate people. And if you hear anybody raising that issue, even you who are teaching that boys are neglected, you remember that there is no law, there is no policy, there is nothing that discriminates against them. So they don't have the barriers that the women have. We are fighting for girls because we want to remove those barriers so that we bring them on equal standing. And then we shall say, yes, both girls and boys should get fees. But these are still there. They are being married at 14, at 13 years. Actually, we are in a very serious crisis. Girls of 14, 13, they are being married off because they became pregnant. But who made them pregnant? Maybe they are fellow boys, but those fellow boys are going to school. These are the issues. What was the thing?
Question all together. Please write down your questions. There must be hunger for some things to be answered your way. Write down your questions. As they are answering here, we'll also take questions. Is that clear? I think that's okay. I thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for ethics and integrity. We put all those things together. Well, when I was asking that, I remember in my time, we had a very interesting challenge. We had someone in the cabinet who wanted to use the Constitution for their favor. And it had to be handled. It was an interesting scenario where a cabinet member is doing things against the Constitution, and they expect you, because you're part of the cabinet, to be on their side.
wherever they are. Well, we have seen students sharing ideas there and here. We have attended a number of conferences bringing you ideas from the students. Right about now, I have someone next to me. We are the women at the Frontline conference in Kyambogo University. We want to bring you exactly what takes place at the women conference and what they expect, what is taking place. You who is out there on maybe in the other different school, you might be missing some part of what is taking place here. So we want to bring you exactly and share to you what exactly ideas are they sharing here and what benefit is it. So maybe some other time you may not miss out on such opportunities, or maybe get information when they happen on Passion TV. So what you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, Passion TV. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram so that you don't miss any single bit of it. You're most welcome. Thank you. Please share with us your name and talk about the women at the Frontline conference.
Thank you so much. Viewers, I thank you for following up the Passion TV. I'm Namara Claire, the Vice Guild President of Kyambogo University, and Office of the Guild President was organized this event for the female students, and it is basically the female students who are organizing it. Previously, Kyambogo University, the female students have not been actively involved in most of the activities, and we felt it is so important to start up a female student platform where most of the issues faced by the female students or the ladies in Kyambogo University can be addressed. So therefore we decided to organize such a conference, which will be the first step where the female students will find a platform to do fellowships, to discuss different issues and challenges on a national level and institutional level, Kyambogo University. Therefore the conference started yesterday, and we had very many guests. We had most of them were the alumni of Kyambogo University. The first one we had Honorable Brenda Nabukenya, who shared her experience as she was the first female guild president of Kyambogo University. Then we also had Miss Charity Byarugaba, who was also the female guild president of Kyambogo University. We had also other engagements with different guests yesterday. So the grand opening was yesterday, and today is the second day, where we have Dr. Miriam Matembe and Dr. Wandera Catherine on the panel, who are sharing different experiences, stories they have faced or they have experienced in the journey at the frontline in advocacy for women's rights and human rights. Of course, females, the women who have been at the frontline have faced different challenges on both a national level, personal level, and some structural level, also the militarized governments.
What are these challenges that you're talking about that women have faced right?
The major one is the perception, both from the public and also self-negative perception, and that has seriously hindered the women to take the lead in decision making at all levels of leadership. It has made them feel stereotyped and feel that that I cannot influence anything, which is literally wrong, and we want to actually bring it to the public, the female students from different institutions, Makerere, MAST, and other institutions, even at a lower level, that a woman can make a decision which is for the good of the nation, that a woman can lead the people, that a woman can do anything good, influence a policy, influence all developmental policies at national level in institutions and also in organizations. This is actually not it's not basically political, though it is covering all levels of leadership in organizations, in companies, in universities, and also in active politics. We have female students who would love to take part in leadership and active politics, of which they have not been trained, have not got a chance to gain the public speaking skills, which is one of the items we'll include on the program of the conference. They have not shared or they have not heard from those influential influential women like Miss Babi Chagulanyi, the influential women like Flavia Nabugabe, the influential women who have been at the front line like Dr. Lina Zedriga, the influential women like the Prime Minister Rebecca Kadaga. So we would, as female students of Kyambogo University, we would love to set a pace such that even others can look at us, that it is not only about active politics, it is about the leadership, it is about influencing decision making, because you might join even active politics, you will not be able to influence. Those are the challenges even the women we've had are facing, that yes, the country has focused so much in increasing the women representation in levels of leadership, but are those women having the skills? Are those women having the capacity to conceptualize issues such that their ideas are bought? Are those women or the female students having the capacity to influence and make sure that their policies or their ideas are being implemented wherever they are?
Well, to a student watching us there, any female students, you might be inspired by what she's saying, or you might be having passion or being motivated to become a student leader at a female level. You should stand up. Maybe she has shared a lot about it. What advice would you give to a female student watching us on this Passion TV?
Yeah, the female students actually first appreciate you're a female student, or first appreciate that you're a female, even if you're not a student, but appreciate the fact that you're a female. Take the step to motivate yourself. Take the step to first influence yourself. For you to be able to influence others or to influence policies and decision making, you must first be able to influence yourself, improve your confidence, and take part also in these activities and the conferences. Take part such that you're able to get the skills, because we as women, we have this natural making that we don't have the full confidence in ourselves. That's why we are bringing this focus action on Friday. Tomorrow we are going to launch a female students focus, which will be a platform of addressing those challenges, training the girl child, the female student. This is not going to end actually only at Kyambogo University. We shall move forward to other institutions and we introduce there. It is going to also to tackle the national issues that women are facing, the women who are being intimidated because of talking about human rights abuse, the women who are being arrested and tortured because of talking about issues that affect the women who are being frustrated from going to places. Recently, we had Mrs. Babi Chagulanyi going to UCU, and she was stopped from entering to speak to the female students who she was an inspiration to. That is the frustration the women are going through, and we want to come against that. Why would you frustrate a woman who inspires your daughter, who inspires your relatives? Why would you stop her from going to inspire them, talking to them? So those challenges are national, and the women and the female students here at Kyambogo University are going to get a platform to address those, because as students we have a bigger contribution, not only at institutions but also at national level. So we want to make sure that females know that they have that big contribution at national level.
Right about now, I'm standing with the Vice President Kyambogo University. She's going to share with us her ideas, what she thinks about leadership in universities. She will tell us one of the challenges they are facing, and maybe one or two benefits that they have as students leaders, and maybe an advice to anyone who wants to be a leader at university level, and maybe what you should expect from leadership, and how to maintain yourself to be a good leader, and maybe to benefit from it after leadership. Because some people after leadership you become down and you have no achievement to be made. Like as a person, you should be having a goal of after leadership, what am I going to be? What example am I setting? Because we're in an environment whereby after leadership you should be aiming at getting a higher position or something bigger. So you're most welcome. maybe your name and introduction.
Thank you so much. As Passion TV, we are so glad for reaching out to us, the students of Kyambogo University, and we are so proud of the people that you're reaching out to us to air out our views and ideas about the leadership of the students and other stakeholders. I'm Namara Claire, Vice Guild President, Kyambogo University.
So you should share with us what should someone expect if they become a student leader, and what do you have to go through as a student leader?
Yeah, expectations, of course, literally the trend has been if someone is going to contest, they shall expect money, expect some very many opportunities. But what one should have in mind before thinking about all those benefits and whatsoever, what are you going to do for the people within that position you're standing for? What are you delivering to the people? Oh, how inspirational are you to the people or the students? So the expectations actually shouldn't overweigh what you have to the people. They shouldn't. Actually, for the expectations, you shouldn't even think about them. Your main intention of contesting or being a leader is offering services to the students, not things coming to you, giving out.
So those are the kind of leaders who go to power and only think about themselves.
Yeah, and that has been faced at university level, whereby a lot of student leaders have been compromised, maybe due to challenges, maybe due to frustration. Let me tell you, at university, mostly us, the people, the leaders who belong to the opposition, personally, people power, no? You get frustrated to the extent that maybe they want you to give up and go to their side. But what the students should get aware of, that persistence is the only way to go. Sometimes they just tempt you to be frustrated so that you join their side. They tempt you to compromise you such that you don't showcase the talent, the leadership skills you have to the students or to the people. At some point, some students, they have very good ideas. They compromise you and frustrate you such that you don't sell those ideas.
I was asking, there is a current situation in Kyambogo University, the forthcoming elections. There is an issue of people power. You as the Vice President, have you heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And what do you think should be the solution? Do we have to go with people power and look, or there should be a solution or a remedy that should come at point, and then we see that you have one person standing for the party?
Yeah, literally, that has been actually propaganda going around generally intended to confuse the students and mislead them. And there is no difference between people. It's the same ideology. The only difference is one is a political wing of the other. So there is no difference. It shares the same ideology and all the values and principles. So when someone comes out and says there's a difference between people power, I do not understand it, because even the principal himself of the party and the movement, he says there is no difference. So the people who are spreading those rumors, they are intended on confusing the students.
So are you supporting Kyambogo University having and people power has party contesting for the guild presidency?
Personally, I don't support, and I would love to tell you that thing is not existing, apart from a few individuals who have their own interests, who are spreading such to divide the students. Yeah, divide the students. But as we move on as the students at the university, they understand. All the students know there is no difference. And actually, they have been taking advantage of this situation, that maybe people have disagreements, maybe this one and this one, they don't agree on a certain point, but then there's no difference between the two.
Have you heard about targets being written by students that are making a decision for Kyambogo?
Yes, that is very, very true. Yeah, that came about when the admission committee was being formed and dominated specifically the Makerere students, all the Makerere people. But for us, the issues, we had issues rising from the students that why is the committee being dominated by the Makerere people or what and what. And to the people they say, yes, we would love to work with the Makerere people, but why don't we organize the elections ourselves? Don't we have students in Kyambogo who are so passionate about it? Don't we have students in Kyambogo who can organize the election and we win? Literally before, the election wasn't dominated by the Makerere students. And people won. We had elections winning, and the current president is they won without the domination of university people. So we are wondering why are they putting this time around the dominated structure of Makerere. So we feel like, yeah, we need to work with them, but then why don't they be ex-officials to guide it? Since, okay, we say they are the levians of organizing, but how are you going to improve or increase the team as no people power national? How are you going to build the skills of the students if you only get a group of a few individuals who always organize elections in institutions? How are you going to increase the people power movement or the national unity platform party? The party always grows by having very many people with different skills, and they play them at their own levels and their capacity. So if you leave an activity or if you leave an institution in a certain group, it will not grow.
Well, I think we need to find people concerned and we talk about this issue. I don't know, maybe the Noob fraternity or maybe the party at large, maybe the principal is watching this. Why don't we find a solution to this? Because students are yearning. Of course, Noob is dominating in most of the universities. People are Noob supporters. I mean, why don't we come to get remedy, to get solutions to such issues? Because I think this is affecting the party at large. Because people would want to support, but if there are such conflicts coming up at university level, how are they going to handle it? Because the competition is tight, of course. You cannot have people power and Noob as a party at the same university, because people are going to be divided at all, and maybe someone else who is organized any other party which is organized can win the election because they are organized. I mean, leaders, people power, I mean, Noob executive come and intervene to this issue, solve the issue of the students, let the elections go on and have one candidate standing as the flag bearer of Noob. So please, I beg you intervene with Kyambogo University forthcoming elections. I know you're watching this on Passion TV, and I know it will reach you. So please intervene and make sure we come to a conclusion and maybe get a remedy before there are divisions and maybe some other stuff that may occur soon or sooner. Maybe in a nutshell, which advice would you give to the candidates that are campaigning to get positions at Kyambogo University level?
Yeah, before I go there, actually this narrative that have been moving around that there is people power, it rose when that committee it was leading an unfavorable process whereby arranging primaries, and they ended up forming a delegates structure or delegates list which had NRM candidates. Yes, we do not say that we don't need NRM students to join us, but why should you let them join the activity? Why should you leave them go to the activities of the party before they declare, yes, we have left NRM, I now subscribe to our ideology? So there have been such misunderstandings, and when there was a certain group of students disagreeing with it and a certain group of students agreeing with the process, which is unfavorable and incomplete process, That's where now the narrative came in that there is people power. They want to brand one kind of people power and they want to brand themselves, which is rooted not there. And the advice I would love to give to the people who are protesting. Yeah, don't contest, just contest. Contest having something to do for the students. Contest knowing the issues and their solutions. Let me tell you, if you go to those offices without that knowledge, how you're going to solve something, or how you're going to deal with the frustration you're going to receive. Student leaders, whether you belong to the NRM or what, if you enter that office, trust me, you'll be frustrated anyway. So you must be well experienced or you must have found out on how to deal with those situations, that even if there is a hard circumstance, you must go on and defend the students. Of course, we have an administration that is not in the interest of the students. So they expect that you, as the students, will be expecting that you, the guild president and the student leaders, to always defend us, because the management have no individuals defend the students' cause. So the students leaders who have passion about contesting or taking part in the leadership, you must be having that knowledge and having solutions to issues of the students. Students have endless issues due to maybe management issues, due to administrative delayed processes, but as a leader you must be having the solution, or you must be interactive across students.
Okay, thank you very much for the nice words shared to the candidates and Kyambogo students. My name is Isaiah. It's Passion TV. We promise to deliver, as always remind you, we promise to deliver to you the best from different universities, different student fraternities, so that we give a student out there who is in Gulu, who is in Mbale, who is in Mbarara, what you're missing in Kyambogo, and maybe we shall also come to Mbale, and we give people in Kyambogo what they are missing from that side. Right about now, I have someone who is going to share us about what is taking place at the Women at the Frontline conference, right? Yes, she's going to share us what is going on exactly. Here it is periodically. You're going to carry it for a week?
We are finishing up tomorrow.
Okay, so tomorrow. Okay, yeah. So you're going to share with us what is it all about, and what is the benefit of this, and what is a student leader, or I mean any female leader out there, or any female student who getting from this conference, and maybe if someone is missing this, what advice would you give them? Or maybe let us start with the first one. Tell us about the Women at the Frontline conference.
Well, my name is Nakazi Hilda, and I'm the Minister Justice, Kyambogo University, and as well as part of the organizing committee for the Frontline conference. So why we decided to bring up the conference is because we've seen other universities do it. We've seen Makerere take part in women initiatives, but we hadn't had it in Kyambogo. We hadn't had it back home, so we decided why not to bring out that spirit from our home, Kyambogo University, and we decided to bring out the female students because we see that they have less enthusiasm. They say male students do this, I can't do that. A male can do this, I can't go into politics, I can't go into leadership. It's for what? Males. And if you really clearly state the statistics, we have a couple of 26 female PRCs in the House, we represent council, and they are 26, and we are 96 as House of 98. Exactly. Which clearly states that females still fear to come in what? In the leadership space. Not even the leadership space, we have even other aspects. You might see someone goes, I want to go for engineering, but it's a male course. I want to do this, but so we are trying to break those barriers. We are trying to find ways of breaking those barriers. And how are we doing that? We are bringing the prominent women that we are seeing on TV, the prominent women that we are hearing about. We have the Miriam and the Honorable Nabu Kenyas. We have doctors in us, so we are trying to bring them. They show these females that even if we are females, we have done it, and so can you. So that's what the female conference is about. And on top of that, we have a public speaking contest. You know, females, we have that thing of we fear to speak out. So we are having a public speaking contest, which is being held from yesterday to Friday. So every day we are getting the better participants so that we come to the final part of it.
Well, we didn't know about it, but Expression TV brings to students such events that they are missing. So maybe someone is demanding us that. We are sorry we have not delivered that. So next time maybe we shall be informed to be part of that. Maybe share a little bit more. What are the benefits of someone being at the Frontline Women Conference?
You being at the Frontline Women Conference, it's not a passion. It should be love, because we have faced challenges where you tell someone there's a female conference and they're like, yes. But you taking part in it is doing something different in life. You cannot see it, but in the long run, you see it, because everyone who speaks to you, they bring a different aspect. If you tell me that someone has come and they have given you some advice, or they have had a talk with you, and you live with nothing, you live the same way you are, that's bad. But we are trying to put a footprint that when we bring out these different speakers, they are adding something into your life, character-wise, portray-wise, intention-wise, like the way you portray yourself in public, the way you do this as a woman, or so. All those aspects, they're just trying to build that, because they might find me already an established politician or a leader, and I don't have a public speaking contest or a public speaking aspect of something, but through the different conversations, the talks we are having, you're picking something. It's not just for show.
Well, that is nice. Maybe not to forget, what advice would you give to a student out there who is watching us on Expression TV, maybe in Bulu, Mbale, or something like that, who has missed the Frontline Conference for the women, and maybe share with some ideas, or maybe some of the things you've super benefited, you who has been attending, and maybe they can pick some idea from that.
Well, we've held this conference for 2 days now straight, and we've had at least 12 speakers. And I can't say, what they've said. There is this thing where they call, I can't deliver exactly what my master said, but I can deliver in my own words. Yeah. Women, we are courageous. We are helpers. We are participants wherever. We are hard workers. So you don't have to hide under the mask of, I have beauty, or I have a bum, or hips, or a figure, or a nice face. No, that is not all to you that there is. You are beautiful, you're brain worthy, you're hardworking, and you're more to a woman than any man can see. So that's all I can say. If you've missed, we hope next time or in the next conference you'll be able to join us. If not, we are trying to send a message out there to those leaders in your universities. They try to hold these things because they are women, we are the world, we are the nation, we run this thing. Though men don't see it. That's why they say behind a successful man, there is that strong woman. It can be a mother or a wife, but there is that woman who has pushed them to do that. So don't hide behind the barriers, break them barriers. If there is a wall, Miriam Ateme today just said, if there is a wall in front of you, don't say let me go around the wall, no, jump the wall. So that by the time when you jump it, you're losing less time than when you have gone around. So jump those walls, keep those barriers, and block them, because they are there to be broken. Yeah.
I've heard of men, that statement you just made of, behind every successful man there is a woman. And I've heard of men disagree with that line. But anyway, maybe sometime we shall come and have to talk about, is it true that every successful man there is a woman behind them? Maybe we shall have a table and talk about that, and we just find a statement, or maybe come to a disagree. But anyway, it is very nice having such events, and we should always be inviting Expression TV so that we give the students out there who cannot be here the best of, of course, they have to get the ideas. We are here to give students what they exactly have to get. We are preparing students to be what they can be after school, and maybe become better citizens in the future. Students don't have platform to air out what their idea is. For example, if Expression wasn't here, someone would have missed the message we have shared to them. So we urge all students out there, please subscribe to Expression TV, follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, so that you don't miss out any other part of it. The next season of Women on the Frontline Conference, maybe we shall get a poster, we shall be pinning them, and you definitely have to be here. We shall always be bringing you live of such events, and maybe wait for a lot more. Maybe a few of your last words to them.
I would say I'm a woman, I'm beautiful, I'm bold, I'm strong, and I'm bright. Damn bright, like mind-blowing bright. So if you believe that, believe it in your heart, put it in your head, and work upon that goal, because we are women and we're here to stay. We are the nation. That's all I can say.
let me just put a full stop there. I'm not adding on that. Watch out to this. Subscribe to Passion TV. Am I there? Passion TV, your favorite. Thank you.